In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we'll join the town DPW director as he reviews the challenges faced by his department this winter, take a place at the table at St. Barnabas' Episcopal Church, and learn about a new nonprofit that's helping to find our furry friends their forever homes. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm your host, Michael Kasparian. COVID-19 case counts continue to significantly taper off in the town of Falmouth, with all key COVID-19 metrics, including deaths, cases, and hospitalizations, declining statewide as well. Masking is now mostly optional in our schools and no longer required in town-owned properties. The Friday briefings by Falmouth's health agent Scott McGann are a good way to stay informed of the latest local, state, and federal guidance, and you can view the briefings on FCTV Government Channel 15, our Facebook page, and fctv.org. It's time now for three things from Town Hall, FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
Tom Cahir of the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority addressed the Select Board this past Monday evening to inform them about digital signage that will be installed at appropriate locations. The signage will be informational in nature regarding schedules, fees, and routes.
And we're doing our capital investment program, so this digital signage is one that we've been looking at across the Commonwealth. Other RTAs are using. It's been very helpful and informative to the patrons in the various communities. So we've invested some funds to purchase some digital signage, and we want to try to introduce two pilot programs probably this fall.
This is like a type of advertisement, right? Because if folks aren't from here and they're going about their daily lives and they're seeing this, I mean, part of it is obviously to give the information so folks know when the schedules are coming for buses, but another piece is to just raise awareness that this is a resource.
The Select Board once again addressed the issue of fire rescue staff. Select Board Chair Doug Brown opened the discussion by suggesting that the board may adopt a policy in which the town would hire more fire rescue personnel so that they could meet the department's needs.
I feel like we really need to consider a Select Board policy of, I think, really some massive hiring to give the chief the ability to fully staff. I think that maybe we need to make a stronger commitment to the number of firefighters that we are hiring and paying in this town.
The president of the Falmouth Water Stewards addressed the board regarding Falmouth's nitrogen bylaw. It was suggested that this bylaw still is not well known in town by homeowners. There was a request to the board to approve informational packets planned to be included with individuals' water bills to help the effort.
We'll follow it up with an article in the newspaper and a copy of the flyer in the paper. If we could have your permission to produce such a flyer to inform the entire town that fertilizer use is restricted in all wetlands, freshwater ponds, and salt ponds.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org. With winter wrapping up, FCTV wanted to hear how the Department of Public Works fared during the last few months of storms in Falmouth. DPW Director Peter McConarty gives us a glance of the department and discusses the challenges they faced.
We actually did well over this past winter storm. It was busier than recent and past years. We were very fortunate this year that we were able to get private contractors for front-end loaders to stage around several areas of town, and we put them in each village of town. So we had 7 private company front-end loaders to work on in each village of town, and it worked out very well. We staged them at fire stations, so it worked out very well to hit the critical areas of town. This coming year, we're looking to adjust our rates again to be more competitive across the Cape. We did it this past year. We'll do it again this year to see if we can attract some more contractors. But I think every town is in the same boat as far as picking up the private contractors. We did pretty well over the storms. All the storms fell on a weekend. There were multi-day storms, so our guys got beat up pretty good during the storm. They did very well with it, but after 72 hours in a truck, it kind of gets old and you need to start taking breaks. One unforeseen item that we did have is salt deliveries, where we basically, during the last storm, mid-February, we ran out of salt deliveries. It's not the material of salt, it's the truck, getting the trucks and on the road, and I think that between the supply chain and the truckers, to be able to have them come down and make the trips to get the trucks, our salt shed was running somewhat low. But we did pretty well. We did pretty well. We fared through it, and I think now that we're into mid-March, I think we're pretty much through it. I think we'll be able to start getting into our construction season and start prepping for the spring and summer seasons for our construction maintenance. Yeah, what we do is this time of year we take all the salt spreaders off the backs of our trucks and we put them back in the back of the truck and we store them so we can start getting ready to start doing our projects. We already are starting several large projects that require our larger trucks, our 6-wheeler and 10-wheeler trucks. If a storm does come in, then it'll take us a day or two to prep to get to reload the trucks and put them back on the trucks and get them calibrated and ready to go again. We do have enough salt at this time to be able to get us through another storm. Typically in the late March, early April timeframe, the temperatures are up high enough that the pavement is warmer than in the winter months. So most times, if it does snow, it catches on the grass. It'll get on the asphalt surfaces, but once it gets onto the asphalt concrete surfaces, the sun heats it up in prior days that it usually just melts right off and it doesn't become an issue. Sometimes we get salt, it freezes at night. If the roads aren't dry at night, it freezes, so we'll need to go out and load up and go out and hit and salt all the main routes. But for the most part, at this point in time, we're getting ready for spring and summer season.
Thank you to Peter McConarty and Jeff Lyman for that insight into the DPW's challenges. Before we go to a quick break, we have some exciting news here at FCTV. We are honored to have been nominated to receive a Martha's Vineyard Bank Charitable Foundation Community Impact Grant. This year, 2 nonprofit organizations from Falmouth and 2 from Martha's Vineyard will each receive a $5,000 grant. The recipients are chosen through an online voting process, and we're asking you to vote for FCTV from now until 5 p.m. on April 8th. More information is available on our website, fctv.org. We'll be right back with a story about a free meal program making its debut at St. Barnabas' Episcopal Church. Stay with us. Welcome back to Falmouth in Focus. Recently, St. Barnabas' Episcopal Church opened its door for a new program called A Place at the Table, where anyone in the community is invited to come in and enjoy a meal. We stopped by to talk with the Reverend Will Mebane and some of their volunteers to learn more about this program that provides meals to those in need.
This is the first day when we have launched a new program called A Place at the Table. It's a meal program, a free meal program for anyone interested in a freshly cooked hot meal to come visit the campus on the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month. There was another program by the name of Around the Table that existed for 36 years in providing meals similar to this. And unfortunately, like a lot of things during the COVID period, that program shut down because of the inability to find the volunteers to sustain it because of all the COVID precautions.
I've always thought it gives people that are unable to, say, dine out, go to a restaurant, it gives them that experience here in this beautiful, beautiful parish house, to have that experience and to be able to share that with other people and to get a nice home-cooked meal. And we do the cooking. So
now it's just the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. We would like to increase that to every Tuesday of the month and maybe even beyond that, to grow it to multiple times during the course of the week. So,
well, we're really kind of hoping the word gets out to them, and to let them know that we are here and we welcome them, and we really would love to see them coming, and we are offering them a home-cooked meal.
we want this to be a community project, not just a project of the parish. And we're still open to having people volunteer from the community. We're still also receiving donations to support the program because we would like to expand it. Or probably the easiest way to go on our website, stbfalmouth.org, stbfalmouth.org, and you'll see information there and be able to connect with us to volunteer or make a donation.
A Place at the Table will be held on the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Thanks to Alan Russell for that story. Are you a dog lover like me? Well, a newly opened nonprofit organization based in East Falmouth is striving to find loving homes for homeless and abandoned puppies and dogs, most of whom originate in Texas. Let's hear more about Sunny Paws Rescue from its founder, Tony Eaton.
Often I'm asked, why dog rescue and what does it mean to you? Which is a very good question. It has become a passion of mine to save and help as many dogs as possible. Many people don't know that there is a huge problem in our country of enormous amounts of puppies and dogs that are homeless. Our organization started after our very first rescue named Sunny. He was an older dog that was abandoned in Arkansas, and we took one look at Sunny and we knew we had to jump into action and make a difference. We drove at a very late hour, a couple of states away, to pick up Sunny, and we brought him home, and our lives have changed and will never be the same since. So we began our hands-on, boots-on-the-ground rescue this fall, and since then we have been able to find homes for over 100 puppies and dogs. One of the reasons that we've partnered with Texas is that the problem there and the numbers are astronomical of dogs that need help, and numerous efforts by numerous rescues and people wanting to make a difference. And we've formed many networks and have made a lot of friends, and we are all focused and driven and working collaboratively to make a difference in the lives of these puppies and dogs. We work with them to get them healthy, get them all of their medical care that they need, bring them up to date with all the required vaccinations, and then we work with transport services that come from Texas and drive the dogs to us in Massachusetts. The rescues and the transports are certified by the Department of Agriculture to do the transport of these dogs across state lines. When they come to Massachusetts, they go into isolation for 2 days to make sure that they don't have any communicable diseases. After 48 hours, we then adopt them to their forever homes. Rescue has no bounds, no limits as to the type of dogs, the size of dogs, the ages of dogs. We rescue puppies from birth right till their senior years. We see every breed coming out of every situation imaginable. So we are a volunteer-based organization, and we are always in need and looking for help. We always need foster homes. We need volunteers to help us with transport, with fundraising, with event planning, with application review, with office support. Our big goal is to one day have our own adoption center, a place where we can bring our dogs and puppies and help them on their road to a better and forever life. The more hands we have, the more lives we can save.
To learn more about what you can do to help our furry friends, go to their website, sunnypawsrescue.org, or check out their Facebook page. Thanks to Andrew Richards for that story. Did you know that the activities of the emperor penguins are an indicator of climate change? Here's a video from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution that tells us why. Thanks to Huey for submitting that video. We're going to take a quick break to hear about an adoptable cat from People for Cats. And when we return, we'll stop by the Falmouth Public Schools Science and Engineering Fair. Stay with us.
Willow is a pretty white with a few black patches domestic short hair female. She's 5 years old and is very affectionate. She was rescued in Florida after her previous owners moved and abandoned her. Willow was transferred to People for Cats in hope of finding her forever home. This lady's friendly, outgoing, and a purr-mobile, loving everyone she meets. She's up to date with her shots, spayed, and microchipped. So if you're looking for an easygoing cat who aspires to be a lap cat, look no further. To meet Willow at PFC, you must have an application on file and previously been approved to adopt a cat. People for Cats is open only for people seriously interested in adopting a cat. An application for an adult cat can be picked up at the shelter during adoption hours or sent in by email to be filled out and brought in. Once you have been approved, you are welcome to come to the shelter during adoption hours to be shown the cats. Contact People for Cats at 508-540-5654 for more information.
Hi, this is Bill from the American Parkinson's Disease Association of Massachusetts. We want to thank Falmouth Community TV for having us on today. Falmouth Community TV and all community TVs are really important to making sure that the message gets out about all the great things that APDA does in Massachusetts and beyond. We do know that the demographic on Cape Cod is really important to us. We know that 90% of those with Parkinson's disease are over 60 years old, and Cape Cod has a large senior population. There's been a tremendous amount of progress in understanding and treating Parkinson's disease. PD impacts not only the person, but his or her family, social networks, and the community. Seeking out support from friends and family and community is essential. APDA is there for you in the community, providing resources and guidance along the way. Every day we provide the support, education, and research that will help everyone impacted by Parkinson's disease to live life to the fullest. We hope that you'll reach out if you have any questions. We have an informational referral center here in Massachusetts, and we'll have the information at the very end. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jay Zavala. I live in Falmouth, and I've been fighting Parkinson's disease for the past 6 years. Join me in not only fighting PD, but understanding what it does and how we address it. Tremors, rigid muscles, slow movement, and some difficulty with balance. So we've got the resources and the supports to help you all out. We provide educational programs for people with PD and their families, friends, and care partners. We have support groups that are a great way to receive information and meet others who understand. There's a tremendous amount of research going on, learning about clinical research trials that are ongoing in Massachusetts. There's physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech programs, specially designed for people with Parkinson's, art and movement classes. We can engage in all of these activities. We'll share the information with you and fight this battle together. Thank you.
Welcome back. After changing to a virtual event in past years, the Falmouth Public Schools Science and Engineering Fair returned to an in-person format. Held in the Antonucci Fieldhouse at Falmouth High School, students from across the district celebrated science in the Falmouth community with their projects.
We are so excited to be celebrating science and engineering in this year's 44th annual Falmouth Public Schools Science and Engineering Fair. After being virtual last year, it is so amazing to be here in person celebrating all of these amazing, exciting projects. We have over 150 projects, grades from elementary, middle school, junior high, and high school are all represented.
Right here I'm doing electroplating with copper. You have the copper over here, and when the electricity is going through it, it's dragging some of the copper onto it. So this is our claw machine. It's called the prize pickup.
Our science fair project is on wind turbine efficiency, and it's called Fantastic Energy.
We have over 150 projects at the high school level. Actually, today, the regional fair is being held virtually. We have 4 projects that are registered for regionals this year. They're at home, linking into the regionals, and we'll have an award ceremony later on today to celebrate the high school students that were judged virtually this week on Tuesday and Thursday.
Thanks to Ryan Weber for that report. FCTV wants to remind you that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone. We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us. Email us your photos and videos, or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors. We leave you now with the sights and sounds of the ringing of the bells by Falmouth faith communities who stood out in solidarity with Ukraine. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.
We come this day out of sadness, and we come this day out of the desire to support and be in solidarity with the people of Ukraine. And so today, Lord, as we hear the bell ring, may we also understand and be aware of the blessings that we have every day that we too often take for granted.